Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, then I'll message you when it's time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for today, because on the unit specification, it talks about Python and C++, but I'm more into web development, so I prepared a session where we're going to look into React.js. So if we go on the React website, so React was invented by Facebook in 2012, and with this library, with this JavaScript library, we're able to build user interfaces. So as you can see, Facebook and many apps like, for instance, Twitter, or even this software that we're using for CRM softwares like HubSpot. You know, this dashboard, most of them they've been built with React. So I do know that JavaScript developers, which they have React knowledge, like from experience, they do get a lot of job easily as a JavaScript developers, even in senior roles like senior developers. So from the website, for instance, he explained how it's created. So React works mainly with components. So with components, we can build encapsulated component that manage their own state, then compress them to make complex user interfaces. So as I said, is really good for user interfaces. So I would like you to go on to type React development tool. So if you want to install this extension on your Google Chrome, once you install it, you can see all these softwares that they've been developed with React. So, have you done it? Hello, Nitya.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Yeah, let me do that. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. So, for instance, we as an institution will now be using. We have a couple of softwares, CRM software. I think it's called Customer Relationship Manager, something like that. Which these are like more for end users. So as you can see here on where I installed the extension, now it pop up with React features. So this page is using the production build of React. So for instance, Trustpilot. I know there are loads of softwares, loads of companies that they build their own website with React. You see, Trustpilot uses React. I know even, for instance, e-commerce website, StockX. So I like shopping on StockX, where is an e-commerce website for retail products. We can get shoes and loads of stuff. So even StockX is an e-commerce website built with React. So if you have, now that you have this extension installed in your on your Google Chrome web browser, you can see the amount of website that they've been built with React. That's why JavaScript developers are really in demand. And then with this JavaScript framework, we can now create a lot of how do you call it? A lot of websites. So there is a stack which is called MERN stack, which is really important. MERN stack. So for instance, you decide to get into web development for a MERN stack, which stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. So by being able to work with all these technologies, you can be classified as a full stack developer. While if you're looking just to work as a front-end developer, you can just work with React and Node.js. Or if you want to work as a back-end developer on databases, you can then just learn how to work with MySQL or for instance, MongoDB, which is a non-relational database.
Yeah.
So I want you to download Node.js on your machine. Do you already have Node?
Not sure. I think I have, but let me check and install that.
Yeah, so if you download just Node and Visual Studio Code.
How can I check if I have that?
Oh yeah, to check if you have Node, you just go on your command prompt, type cmd.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 second. You go on command prompt, and then you type Node.
No, I don't have it.
Node
that's hyphen VV, right?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Okay, so go back to Node website and download the recommended version, not the latest.
Okay.
And then Visual Studio.
Which one is the recommended version? Where is that?
You have to download recommended 16.17.
Okay.
And then download Visual Studio Code.
Okay. I have Visual Studio Code.
Okay, that's good.
My PowerShell has opened.
Have you downloaded?
I have downloaded Node.js, but it is in the PowerShell now.
Wait, can you share your screen? Let me see.
Sure. No, I don't have access.
Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah, now you're authorized.
Can you see this?
Yeah. Install.
I have Python also.
Wait, so you just went on Google Chrome and downloaded Node, right?
Node. Yeah.
Python is now installed. Can you minimize your page 1 second?
You want me to stop sharing?
No, minimize. I want to see on Google Chrome 1 second. Because normally to install Node, you just simply have to like download and should be installing.
Okay, let me try that again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just go on your settings.
I did that, but it was giving me some error, like access denied error occurred, and then it opened here in the PowerShell.
That's strange. What you should do, on the settings, if you go on add remove, well, let me share my settings. Because normally if you go on add and remove software, it should it should show you if you have
in the control.
Yeah. Lord. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
That's good. If you have anything similar, just uninstall and then re-download again.
Okay. You want me to cancel what is happening right now?
I'm not sure. I don't know if by running this is gonna work or not. That's the point.
Okay.
Because normally should download, and then you should have. Okay. You see, I have it here.
Yeah. Let me see if it is opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is installed. I can open this. I could see this.
Oh, you can open it now.
Yeah, I can see this particular terminal.
Okay, just type node /v. No,
Yeah,
it's not.
same.
No,
Node.
no, on the command prompt. Sorry.
Okay.
CMD.
No, here it's not recognized.
That's strange. Should be. Not recognized.
Yeah.
One
No
second.
problem. We can continue. I will try to do this after this session, maybe.
Yeah, because I wanted to do it with you. But anyway, I'll just give a tutorial. So in order for us to work with both of them, you have Visual Studio as well?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so I'll open Visual Studio. If you go on extension and you type live server, do you have this extension installed?
Let me see. Live server.
The live server will allow you to run the pages on the web browser.
Okay. I'm installing that.
Yeah. Or what you can do, maybe it's a problem with the version of Node.
Okay. I have downloaded the 64-bit from here, MSI file.
Okay. Let me just. What I'll do now. I will create a folder. I will call this e-commerce. So that's going to be the folder for our project. I'll go back on the command prompt. And now the way React work is that we need to create a couple of packages. So I don't know if you've heard of JSON files.
Yeah. I do work on it.
Okay, so we're going, by creating all our packages, we'll have all our JSON files. So, okay, directory, desktop. This is already existing. Okay, now I've created this directory for e-commerce, and the way Node works. So with Node, we can now create our packages, our JSON JSON packages, as I said. So by doing so, we have to use npm, which stands for Node Package Manager. And then with npm, we'll create our first package, which is npm init. And by doing so, if we check on our e-commerce, one second, npm install. Install package name e-commerce. Yeah. Okay. So version, description, entry point, index.js. So our main file is going to be index.js. Test comment, git repository. We'll skip this keyword auto git license. So this information is correct. Then we'll type yes. npm notice. To update. No. We have our JSON file created now. Why is he asking me to update? Run npm install/g. npm install. Okay, we have added one more package. Let me check again. Okay, so now we got our first package, json.mp. So normally, if we want to create packages which are going to be globally, we will now do them from our command prompt. But for some reason, I prefer doing it for each project. So I'll do it from my terminal of my Visual Studio. Because sometimes if I just install stuff globally, you start messing up, and it will take me time to troubleshoot and figure it out how to reset them. So what I'll do, I'll go and I'll open this folder. Once we have opened this folder, we can now see everything. So with terminal, we do have a terminal. So what we'll do now, we'll install Bootstrap, which will allow us to manage more components of React. So what I'll do, I'll type npm install Bootstrap. So as you can see here, with Bootstrap, these are more components. So I will explain to you in more detail what these components are. I have some slides which explain what components, what's the purpose of using them.
And what is this Bootstrap?
Is used to add more components.
Okay. For visualization purpose.
Yeah. So let me go to the slide. One second. Where is it?
You mean the pop-ups, how
Yeah.
they work with
Yeah.
React, unlike the conventional pop-ups and all?
Yeah, the way you see how the user interface is built.
Yeah.
You know, now for instance, Facebook has multiple sections. So all of these are created with components.
Okay.
Yeah. I did have some good definition for it. Yeah. Okay, so there are two types of components. So we Bootstrap, we installed many more components. So we have functional components. So with functional components, it's just plain JavaScript functions, and hence are easier to test and read. So then we will now explain how it accepts props and arguments, and you return a React element. Then we have class components. So with the class components, requires you to extend from React.component and create render functions. Okay, so by installing our Bootstrap, we can now create our main file. So what I will do right now, I'll simply create it from here. So with npx, we're just going to create a React application. So that create React. We'll create React app, and then we'll call it with the name of our folder, e-commerce. Okay. So now we are adding all this React library. So as you can see, our terminal is now installing React with all the React DOM and the scripts. So this will take a couple of minutes to upload.
In the meanwhile, can we go to the folder and see what has been created there? In the commerce folder. Is this packaged or JSON was already there? What was
created the source code yet?
Oh.
The new package.
Okay, it was already there, right?
No, it just came up now because before it was just our node modules.
Okay.
So now because it comes with like a boilerplate. So in this boilerplate, there are our CSS file, HTML, and JavaScript. So it comes like as a boilerplate where you can now start working with it, doing some customization. Yeah, it's quite heavy too. Yeah, so I have these slides which explain couple of things that we need to know about React. So we can see React is an open source user interface library, which was created by Facebook, and which uses built interactive web applications, mostly single pages applications, which are made of components, which is what we're installing right now. So the prerequisites. So we need to know what you need to know to learn React. So you need to have some very basic HTML, CSS, and basics of JavaScript. So do you have any of these understanding?
Sorry, Victor, couldn't hear you. Your voice was breaking again.
I said that the requirements to learn React is just very basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript understanding. Have you ever worked with HTML files and CSS?
Yes, I have worked with HTML. So for the test automation work that I do, it requires the understanding of DOM, HTML DOM. So I have worked on that, but not much on CSS and JavaScript.
Okay, yeah, because you just need a little bit of understanding, so it doesn't really require you to be like an expert.
Okay. And yeah, just to let you know, my Node.js is now installed and I can see the version number updated there.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. So as we did an example, so you see all these squares, these are all components, and these components are independent, usable code block, which will divide our user interface into smaller pieces. So everything in React is a component. So this usually take the form of JavaScript classes or functions. Components return HTML via render function. And then, for example, of React component can be seen in the figure below. And all the red boxes are now components. Let's check if. Oh my days, what's going on?
Timeout error.
What's going on? Let me try from here. Why did it give me error there? About installing npm install objects. Log. Last image. Let's see if it works for me. Shouldn't get reactor. npm. Hmm. He says this is a problem related to network connectivity. In most cases, you're behind the proxy or have a bad network setting. Okay, let me try to go back on the Wi-Fi here. Hello, Nitya.
Yeah, Victor, yes, I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, my terminal
Yeah,
says that I have network issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. We can connect after some time, maybe, if once your network issue is resolved.
I want to fix this is let me try one more time. it should work. Yeah, so as we were seeing from, yeah. So did you hear what I said about the components?
Yeah, these ones which are highlighted in red are the
Yeah.
component.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So with React, we can now create all these squares, all these boxes, and then so from here, he also explains what is JSX. So React uses a separate language called as JSX to create the elements. So by JSX is simply JavaScript XML, which is a markup language. So markup language, we know type XML and HTML, which they know mainly coding, but is the like markup languages. So with JSX, we will now make it easier to write and add HTML into our React. So what JSX does, it converts HTML tags into elements. And as you can see here, so var is a function. So var in JavaScript programming language stands for variable, and const is our constant, which we know the programming languages will have a different name. So I know for Java, our constant will be now final double. Am I right, Nitin?
Sorry, can you come again?
I said when we work with variable, if we're using Java, we'll use an integer. So we will now be declared with int, while constant values in JavaScript, we just use const, while for Java, I know is assigned with a double integer to make a constant value.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this JavaScript, we can now create stateless functions. So what we need to understand for this stateless function component is that after creating React application through our NPX, what we'll do, the following step is to write the definition of a functional component into a separate JavaScript file. So let's see if we manage to create. What's wrong with the Wi-Fi today? Just want to see if this works. Is it clear for the code? No. Obviously declare. Laptop. No, I don't think it will work. The Wi-Fi is really acting up today.
Yeah, from the start of the call, it's not that good today.
Added on. Oh yeah, it's working. Installing a Git repository, installing template. It should work. Yeah. Yeah, it's working.
Oh, now
Yeah. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see the progress also, and I can see the folders in the source, files in the source. I mean,
Yeah. So now we have created our environment, our React environment. Let's see 1 second. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, now we have our React environment, and it tells us how to run it. So with npm run eject removes these tools and copies build dependencies, configuration files, and script into the app directory. If you do this, you can't go back. So we don't need npm run eject. And then you say, so we suggest that you begin by typing cd e-commerce, which is the name of our folder, and then npm start. So I'll just go do cd e-commerce. So now we have been relocated into a new directory, and then we do npm start. Now, by doing so, it's gonna run into our web browser on a local host.
okay.
And now, if we see into our source code, so this is, let's move on back. You can see how it comes with a boilerplate. Oh, 1 second. So now it's running on our web browser. Yeah. Can you see now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So as you can see from our extension, so it says this page is using development built on React. Okay, so what I would suggest as a starting point, we just have to delete. Can we stop this? To the second game. So what I want to do, I will just so what I'll do, I'll just leave this page here. So this is our main page. Comparative problems. Normally should work even if I don't have all this. I will now delete. That's how it's giving us a yeah, it was giving us this error because they're all connected. And then client. And load. Source code in the ZX app is not defined. App is not defined. Okay, let me delete it. If you want to start with it. Okay, let's just leave this here. Let's create one first function. So as you know, when we work with Java, we can now call functions. We either work with our functions in JavaScript. They're basically our methods in Java. So if you have a little bit of understanding of object-oriented programming, you know that for us to work with, to not have messy code, we will now work with object where we can now keep everything tidy and make sure that everything works smoothly. So now I'm going to create one function where I'll just say greeting, where we're going to give our hello world command. So this is going to return our hello world. What I will do, I'll create a division. So divisions are basically like components, but for HTML. Are you following it, Tim?
Yeah, Victor, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. And H1 is a header. So you have we have different type of header, and this is the header one is going to be the bigger header. So let's see if still give us an error. Now we need to execute this with the React DOM. Let me see where I'll declare this. So we React DOM. We'll now return this as with a random. Where we're going to put our greeting function. And then we're going to pass a parameter. Let's see if they give us a student. Let's see. Document get document. No. Just the element. My ID. Oh yeah, now it's working. Should print out hello world. Why is it not showing hello world? I didn't close the bracket.
This get element by ID root is this correct? I mean, root is being picked from.
Sorry?
From where are we picking this ID, which is root?
The ID. 1 second.
Yeah. In the line in number 16, it is. I mean, you've written document.get element by ID root.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just
where is this?
Just give me 1 second. I just need to put this in charge. 1 second.
Okay.
About to die. 1 second. Yeah, sorry, my laptop was dying. Can you repeat? Hello?
Yeah, I was asking that in the code you have written get element by ID and the ID is root. From where have we got this root?
No, that's how I assigned the name for this for the element. It could be any type of name.
Where have we defined that?
I feel like that's why my code is not showing up. I didn't define it properly. Because it should be coming up why it's not been trying to understand about React DOM should so as you can see here, this is an example of how this greeting element should be used, the greeting function. One second. Because the way it should work is that each header and all this element has to be assigned by ID. They have to be coded by ID. But for some reason, this root DOM doesn't work. What I'll do for the next tutorial, we'll focus more on getting more practical and see more components and understand. I'll try to get this fixed for the next tutorial. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be working. I don't know why though. Not return. Anyways, have you tried to set up the environment?
No, I mean, I was following up your screen, so I thought I'll do it later. Otherwise, I would have missed all of this also.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so now today we just showed how to set up the environment, and we just created the first function, which was meant to print a hello world, but I will need to fix this, and then we'll get into more components.
Okay.
Okay, then this is everything for today. And then
Okay.
for tomorrow, I'll see if I can get the presentation for the last unit. And meantime, if I don't get them, we'll carry on with more JavaScript components, more React components.
Cool.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, thank you very much for joining, and see you tomorrow.
See you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.